What's up, YouTube? What's up, Discord? Free from it all. Safe to say this channel has been bang on about this play. Today proves it. Doesn't matter if you're long or short on this play. Like at this point, in terms of how long you were looking to invest, you're up 60% today, guys. Overnight, Friday hold, up 60%. Knew this thing was going to simmer in the oven all weekend. Sat there, watched as the number of watchers on StockTwits grew and grew and grew. It's up like 50% by Monday open. Monday open, it shot like a rocket. It just shot up. Actually, unfortunately, wound up selling basically the whole position at $5.25, despite accurately predicting $5.96 and $7 price targets. I did rebuy in when it dipped back to $6. I rebought in. My average is actually a little higher because I would prefer to chase up versus down. I don't, catching knives or trying to time the bottom can be difficult. I literally bought back in on a moving average. It's not rocket science, guys. If that's it, the moving averages exist for a reason, and the computer algos are literally going to tell you most of the time what is the bottom, what is the top. In this case, we don't know the top because it's been an under $2 stock for so long. We have to kind of pull the chart back. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you can see that I've gone over in detail price areas of price where it should consolidate or head towards, where there might be rejections, where what we would have to do to get up and over and create a new support. Today we have created new support at $6. That's the support. I wish it was lower. I wish it was 555 where there's like a 48 EMA. It is not. I would go back in just as heavily if that's how low it went, but it's looking like 6. Now, calls are rather expensive on this play. The calls are like 25% of the cost of the stock. Just a second here. I gotta pull over. This guy's kicking up all sorts of rocks. Anyways, I don't want to be anywhere near these big trucks smashing up my windshield. Jeez, now I lost my train of thought. So, I took the weekend to do a bunch of DD, right? I was actually going to post a 40-minute video yesterday on Navitas. And then for some reason, I didn't. I don't know why. I probably should have, because it would have made me look like a walking god or something. Because, you have people on StockTwits or whatever, message boards that just post price targets. They don't really say anything. They just use, meme terminology and kind of bullshit. And it's it's all fun and dandy, but what's the actual reasons why companies like this would move up? That's, I think, why you would want to tune into my Discord or my YouTube to understand if you're not doing the DD yourself, or maybe you just prefer to hear it verbally from someone who's done it. Always do your own, obviously, if possible. But, I listened to the earnings call. It was pretty great. It's only 40 minutes long, which is not long. If you know about the company already and what they do with their GAN and their SICK technology, SIC, then, you can basically skip the first 15, 20 minutes. The CEO begins to get asked questions by, Morgan Stanley and other institutes, investment firms, for the last 20 minutes of the video. And they're very good questions. They're on point. And most of the answers are what you're looking for. Some of them are a little vague. Unfortunately, I would have preferred, less vague on some of the questions. But by and large, the majority is the CEO is hammering home that 2026 will be the year for Navitas. And I have every reason to believe him, because I as mentioned in some of my other videos and in the Discord, is that even Elon Musk is recognizing already that there is a severe problem in all of this AI movement, in all of the EV movement, is its power supply and power transmission. Okay? A lot of people want to think only about power supply. They don't think about power transmission. You'll think a lot about power transmission when you take your American charger to Europe or somewhere and it doesn't plug into any walls, right? And I'm not saying that Navitas is trying to change the world by changing power transmission, but they quite honestly could be when it comes to AI data centers, which are relatively new technology. Their product is compatible with the Blackwell servers, but the CEO has basically specifically made note that the Rubens, that's all you're going to be hearing about next year. This year's all Blackwell, and the end of last year. It's all been Blackwell. Used to have a crush on this girl in my high school, Lauren Blackwell. Oh my God, beautiful girl. Junior high. Just never forgot her. Just gorgeous. Anyways, so all you hear about is Blackwell technology, right? Now, next year, and probably in the tail end of this year, all you're going to hear about is Rubens. Blackwell's out, Rubens are in, right? CoreWeave, it's kind of like my joke with it is, I mean, it's 120 today, but it's the tech, all of its tech, it's already outdated. You know, they're on Blackwell 3s, and it's using Blackwell 1s. And it's got a lot of debt. But look what basically retail has ran that. Some institutional buying, I think, but I would have to say most of that has been retail FOMOing. You look at this company, they are a partnership with NVIDIA, okay? Some articles or the CEO or whoever might say collaboration. Guess what, guys? The English language is a funny thing. Working together, that's a partnership. Collaboration, that's a partnership. Partnership, that's a partnership. You know what I mean? There's many different ways to say the exact same thing in the English language. And so that was, you know, what the bears in the forums, they had two main things. It's not a partnership, debunked, and then they were selling and they're going to dilute. So if you've done any DD, you will know that there is a $50 million JP Morgan shelf that they can dilute $50 million worth. Do the math, guys. The company's over $1 billion right now. That's not even 5%. That is, in this industry, what is referred to as a strategic offering or a strategic shelf. It's standard. 5% is standard. 5% is literally nothing. With the volume we have, 5%, that wouldn't even be 10 million shares, okay? There's like 200 million share float. That wouldn't even be 10. And with the volume we have, it would take less than half of an hour to fill that. Half an hour to fill an offering if they offered. And frankly, they should. They don't even need the money. This is the beauty. The CEO, I'm telling you, if you're trying to invest in this company, you're not just looking to be retail FOMO, which is fine. We need you guys. But if you're looking to invest, you go listen to the earnings call from Q1 and you listen to that CEO, and he gets asked the question about that. And he says, our cash burn this quarter was $11 million. We have $75 million. We have 7 quarters of cash burn if we just stay where we're at with our cash spend. Okay? And he says our cash spend is going down. For starters, we've pivoted some of our business and our cash burn is going down, but our income is also going up. So we actually expect that the reserves we're spending are all but going away because of how much money they are anticipating to be making here coming up. I mean, this is no jokes, guys. This is going to be amazing for the stock, amazing for Navitas. And again, he reiterates that this product is proprietary. Like, it is going to be a necessity. Yet you've got people dealing with 400 kilowatts, 800 kilowatts, or watts, not even kilowatts. Again, I'm not an electrician. I'm not a power, what do you call it? I'm not an electrician. I'm not a computer programmer, okay? bear in mind, I trade stocks. I went to school for power engineering. They just teach you a little bit about electricity and electricians. You use electricians. You write permits for them. You don't do that shit yourself. You're working with the oil and gas side, pumps, valves, shit like that. But you learn a little bit about it. But I believe he says that their technology is 1.2 or 1,200 kilowatts. I don't know. Again, do your own due diligence here. Don't just rely on me or other people to spoon feed everything to you. But at the end of the day, what my mind is remembering is he is saying companies are going to require perhaps megawatts, and they're not even set up for that at this point. We're going to get you set up for that, essentially. The best of the best is going to have what these guys are offering. This is potentially a 1 or 2 year hold. Okay, previous areas were $20. If you look at Serve, SERV, if you look at RXRX, if you look at Soundhound AI, SOUN, if you look at CoreWeave, every single one of them has hit 16, 25, 25, and 120. That's the lowest one on the whole list that NVIDIA partnered up with or put eyes on or bought stock in was $16. The next two were 25, and the next one was 120. Now you have this bad boy going from under $2 to $7.50 today, right, in record time. Okay, and what was I gonna say? And that's basically where it's at. It was $22 before they had any of this going on. Within the last few years, right? $22 before any mention of NVIDIA. Someone knew, right? Someone knew what was up. Unfortunately for shareholders, it cratered because it's an R&D. It needs to get that news. It needs to get that partnership to be successful. That's why you got to be really careful with SPACs, de-SPACs, pharma companies. I would just avoid those like the plague. Stay away. 98% of the time you will lose money on a pharma. The funny thing today was Jimmy Boy Cramer said to buy Rocket Labs. Oh! He said this on his last show or maybe the morning show, and he said, Navitas is done. What the fuck do you mean it's done, Jim? Come on, guy. It literally just got the fucking news Wednesday. You want to give the guy credit, right? He managed a hedge fund, guys. So you don't want to be like every other retard and think only inverse Kramer. But when he says that shit, after he knows damn well that this could very well be, at this point, multi-billion-dollar stock at this point, okay? $50 stock, by the way, would be about $9 billion. So, $25 stock would be about $4.5 billion, okay? Which is like peanuts nowadays. You never used to even have billion or trillion dollar companies, and now it's like $1 billion is nothing. But anyways, so he says that. He says, buy Rocket. It was like $20. It lost 68% today, 69%. I'm not even joking. And this one went up 70%. It was the true inverse Kramer. Maybe all that money came out of there and right into Nvts. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I was floored. I couldn't believe it. I'm at this beautiful national park. I'm about to go have a little walk because it's been a day. And oh my God, guys, though, seriously, be careful with paid pumper websites and everything. That's why when I heard about the stock, rush in, right? Rush in on the news. Immediately do due diligence. Do the research. Find out what's going on. Find out, is this legit? Is this going to hold? Is this going to retrace? What? Right? All it did was Fibonacci retraced 11.5% and then took off to the moon. Like a moonshot. It's not even close. Beautiful play, beautiful setup, beautiful everything, beautiful support. They're not just in computer tech. They're not just in AI data centers, guys. They're in cell phone technology already. What's that? You want to be the best, most fastest fast charging phone? Apple? What about you guys? Samsung, are you interested in our technology? Huawei in China, because we already have extremely strong Chinese relationship. Huawei, you want to buy this shit? They can sell the product, guys, or they can sell the company. Either way, it should print. And if they get bought out by a company that trades on the New York Stock Exchange, you're going to get $1 per share offer, and you're probably going to get shares as well. As you know, I would be perfectly okay getting some Crapple. What the hell? Getting some Crapple stock plus $20 a share or whatever, maybe 40, right? Eight times previous valuation. You know, if it was 22 and they were like, yeah, we want 4 times that, we want 88 for you to buy us out, it's still pennies on a dollar for a $3.3 trillion company. Pennies. It's nothing. It's fuck all. Okay, reduce the dividend 1 penny, or don't do a buyback next quarter. Right? Just you've already done a bunch of buybacks. Maybe, you know what I mean? Mergers and acquisitions happen all the time, and this is like beautiful target for an acquisition at this point. Forget about merger. Just someone buy it out. The CEOs, they listed Form 144s. That means that they are potentially allowing themselves to sell shares. They have sold no shares. They did not sell shares. They're allowing themselves to sell shares. You better damn believe they should allow themselves to sell shares. If this thing rips, I'd want to sell some too. The combined shares out of what they were selling was like not even 10% of what all the shares they have. Like I think it was 1%. Like it was almost nothing. Do the math, do your own work, or just take my word for it. But it was like nothing. You look at Zuckerberg selling every day, tens of thousands of shares. You look at Bezos, sold 100% of his stake. Just sold it all, right? These guys were selling 1% after holding for years and years, and they get paid in stock, guys. They don't just get base salary. Elon is only worth what he's worth because of Tesla's stock and stock options. He doesn't have cash. He has stock. If he wants cash, he has to sell stock or sell a position in the company. It's that simple. Or take a loan on his stock, like he did for X, Twitter, right? There's virtually no negatives here other than 2026. We're in June, guys. We're 6 months left in 2025. It's going to blow by. Ups and downs regardless. You could do covered calls on your stock if you so choose to help protect your downside. It's going to limit your upside. You could sell cash secured puts at the money or even below the money, right? That's going to give you a predetermined amount of what you'll make on the stock, or make you a shareholder at a certain strike. If these concepts are kind of new to you or foreign to you, join my Discord. The link will be in the description. It will be in the comments. We are also getting a little bit of effery from YouTube, by the way. I had no issues on my account for 4 years of stock talk. Now since I posted 3 Navitas videos, which was one of the highest shorted stocks on the market, I'm getting all kinds of warnings and strikes and all this out of nowhere. And I asked them, and they're like, "Oh, you're phishing and you're into crypto scams." I don't even talk about crypto. If anything, I literally call Bitcoin beta test coin, or the world's most widely accepted Ponzi scheme. And there's all sorts of bots in my comments all the time trying to talk about keys and shit. I don't know how they're scamming, but that's their scam. It used to be WhatsApp bots, and now it's crypto bots. I'm not asking anybody for any information. I'm also not promising you can get this, that, or the other. I'm saying these are the levels that I'm seeing. You do your own research, and hopefully you come up with something similar or the same, and you get involved and maybe make some money on the play. But I know for a fact that I had 15,000 shares at $4.95 price entry. They went to $7.50 today. Do the math on that. I unfortunately sold at $5.25 for majority. I did sell more higher, and I did rebuy as well. So, I was trading and all that, but I could have had myself a $35,000 day And I got a small portion of that, something like 17% of that. But I'm trying to do it safe as well. I want to make sure, safe for me. I want to make sure, even though I'm saying all these things, that doesn't mean it's going to $8 today, guys, or $10 or $20. Just because retail wants that, that doesn't necessarily mean that's what's happening today. I can still see a lot of short volume on the stock. And like there was times where like all of a sudden trading today, it just dropped 2.4 million shares is one that stands out to me. Who has big money is the only people that has 2.4 million shares of a $7 stock to drop it in a single bar, like 20 cents. Okay. So there's still a bunch of shorts in it, which is great. I love it. Thank you. Give me a freaking discount. Give me a discount. Like I told you, I reloaded a lot of the boat at $6 when it hit $6 and $6.50. So I'm in that range right now. I literally sold here and rebought higher. I'm chasing it up. That's okay. I'll capture it as it goes up, take profits, and try to get better entry. And at some point, though, guys, you won't even be able to do that because it's going to be parabolic. It already kind of, you can't say it is because this is the chart. That's it. That's the chart. That's the 1 week. That's the chart on 1 month. Sorry. Parabolic is like an arch, an arc. Okay. Like it slowly builds and curves up and then it comes down, right? It will do that. It's going to do it. Don't pretend it won't. Again, this is not Nvidia 2.0. This is, we're going to help companies use Nvidia. But I mean, what more could you ask for right now? You know, from a company inventing things. And we're going to be the ones that you have to use. We have patents, right? You know, maybe their work gets stolen or copied in some fashion, but they already have the supply chain in other countries too. Guys, they're not affected by tariffs. The CEO was like so happy about the tariffs. He's like, the way the tariffs are worded, we manufacture here. So our future risk is extremely low and our current risk is low. And we package in Taiwan. They don't package in China, guys. It doesn't even matter. They're in Taiwan, Taipei, which is where Nvidia just was for their keynote, which is probably where they linked up and why Nvidia is pursuing them now, because they met up in Taipei. They were like, damn, we need this. If they don't get bought out, they're going to find an investor. Even if they use that dilution, which again, he said, we're not going to do. It's bullish, because the second it closes, new money or existing money will know it's safe to reload the boat or load the boat. Look at who was it that just did that today? Donald Trump. Trump's like trying to do the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Crypto reserve. They just diluted, and the second it closed, it like started going up again. Like, it's insane. I would not touch DJT with a 10-foot pole. You know, Trump, I was super bullish on him going in. Now that there's all this, it's every week. It's like, I don't know. I'm on the fence at this point, which is weird. It's because I was bullish on that guy for 8 years. But you know, some shit has to change here, and we need some more stable. We need him to be saying some more stable things that, you know, going forward, I wouldn't even concern myself with the tariff news. I would just assume 10% flat across the board, basically worldwide. That's what I would assume as an investor. And if you can, you know, if you think a company can handle that, bullish. If you think a company can't, say Walmart, bearish, because apparently their profit margins are like 4.6%. So no, they can't handle a 10% tariff. They just literally can't. It's not on the books. They're fucking cash rich, but how many quarters of 10% when you're only making 4.6? How many quarters of that before there is a severe problem with your business? Very quick, you know. 1 year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, right? So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited about this place still. Again, pretty distraught at the level I got out at, but hopefully you guys did better than me. I know calls were up hundreds of %. I'm not really looking to get in on the calls on this one. I think it's there's just too much the main reason, guys, putting uncertainty aside about price, because you have to guess the price, you have to guess the time. Putting that aside, I'm waiting for them to do weekly options. Once they add weekly to the options chain, I'll be more inclined to target the monthlies. So that's the third Friday of every month, and weeklies themselves. Selling weeklies to cover my own stock, right? If they had a 12 today, they had a 12 when this thing was 2 and went to 4.5. They had 12, and I've been pretty adamant to remind people, why do you think that is? They could have went to 8. They went to 12. They could have went to 10. They went to 12. When they add 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, you better believe I'm going to be selling. If tomorrow's Friday, if Friday's this weekend and they add it overnight, let's say they add it tonight. Tomorrow's Wednesday, I'll be selling 20s, 19s, 18s, 17s, 16s, and 15s. The whole gamut. I'll sell all that, and I'll buy a whole bunch of stock, and I'll just use that to reduce my entry, right? For $20, you'll probably get 10 or 20 cents. For 19, you'll probably get 15, 18, 20, 17, 25, 30, 15, maybe 50 cents if you're lucky. 50 cents for a 15 strike. Stock's trading at $7, let's say. You sell that. You buy the stock at 7, you sell that. Now you technically got the stock for $6.50, right? 50 cents off, with an upside of $15, which is double, 100% gains. I'm perfectly happy with 100% gains. I know a lot of people, they want thousands of percent. They want, the options change was hundreds of percent. So, I'm very happy to get 100% by the end of the week. And if I don't get 100% by the end of the week, I do it again the next week. And again the next week. And that's not called rolling, guys. Just so you know, I'm not going to roll. I'll just let it expire. Or I close it out for a penny or two myself. Reevaluate the options chain. And sell accordingly there. Talk about all that kind of stuff in the Discord. Every day, all the time. But just, guys, if you're new to the channel and you made it this far, 1, thank you. 2, make a comment below, please. Please like, please share, please subscribe. I would love to get to 5,000 subscribers. I've literally been stuck at 4,700 for 3 years. It hasn't changed. Probably because I was talking about presidents and Biden and Kamala and certain things that go in your arm. And YouTube doesn't like that. The Google overlords don't like it. I'm not joking. And you can only look at all the YouTubers that had to go to Rumble because it happened to them. It happens to the small guys. It happens to the big guys. But just 5,000 would be a nice number. I would appreciate it. And consider joining the Discord. It pays for itself. I'm telling you right now. It's pay gated. Keeps bots, trolls, and losers out. We had the alert at $2 in the Discord, guys. $2. I have timestamps of it. I've posted the timestamps to StockTwits. Timestamps everywhere. My 3 videos, as far as I'm aware, there was one other guy who did one video on, I think on Friday or on the weekend. That's it. It was like me, and then a few days later, some other dude. There's basically, the days of the trades and the Mac whores, and these, they pretty much don't exist anymore. But this isn't even that kind of a situation. It's got high short interest like an AMC or a GameStop. That helps. But this is a legitimate investment opportunity in my mind. And I don't pump penny stocks. Like, it's not what we do. I don't do it. I just literally don't understand how the world moves forward without the technology that these guys are offering. I am fairly sure that they are going to be bought out. They are not going to be allowed to just be a company and sell to whoever. It's too important, too critical, and gives too much of an edge to whoever has it. Imagine you can only have the Blackwell chips because you're stuck on the old power transference model when the Rubens come out, because some company bought them out and won't give you the tech that's for the Rubens, that's for the increased kilowattage or megawattage, right? You're stuck with these older, slower, less productive chips because some other company has just slammed the door in your face on this. And, that's kind of what I'm looking at here, guys. I hope it serves you well. Follow the Discord, guys. More to come.